You think you know car auctions? I promise you have never seen anything like this before.
Alright, 20 counts down, number 2, now 5, and now 5, how much you got? So, 34,000, chain ride.
Oh my God. So I've come for a sit down at the top of the grandstand because it's a lot to take in. But here is roughly how it works. So over the course of this week, Barrett-Jackson will sell 1,900 cars. They will all come up across the stage. They're driven on from the far end, come up across the stage and then roll off, and when they roll off, they're sold. Everything is sold with no reserve, so you are taking your life in your hands as a seller. The bidders all congregate down there, and it's all done by raising a hand. However, there are bid assistants who go out into the audience and encourage people to bid and wave flags and all the rest of it. I mean, it's hype central. But when an auction gets this big, it is no longer just an auction. All sorts of other stuff goes on. Resvani over there are pulling the wraps off a new car. You have car manufacturers exhibiting just like a motor show. There are driving experiences you can do outside. It goes on and on. So let's go and have a poke around it. Someone's selling a Radical, Apex Motorsport Club. One side we have Toyota, on the other side we have plenty of merchandise. Let's go and have a look at some merchandise. Is this me? I love it. There's a really good vibe about the place. Everyone's just excited about cars, and not just the used cars that are coming across the lot, but the new cars. There's lots of exhibits and displays, look, of old engines, new engines, electric cars, all sorts of stuff going on. I just can't get over the scale of the place. It's massive. These are marquees, okay? They start putting them up on the 1st of December, and this is now the 25th of January. These auctions go on for a week, every single day. They open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and over the course of this event, 350,000 people come to be part of it. And I know you thought this was just going to be high-lift Jeeps and muscle cars, but it's not. Look, here we've got the Lucid Air, and on the other side of it, the brand new BMW i7. However, I should now get you to turn round and have a look at what you've got behind you, because yeah, what you have got behind you is just enormous trucks on lift kits with massive engines. I'm happy. So the further you get away from the main auditorium, the more random it gets. So look, over here we have the Blue Origin space capsule. We have some slightly questionable jewellery. Over here we have speedboats, and what I'm reliably informed are called pontoon boats, basically boats to get drunk on. Then, heading down, we've got clothing over here. We've got artwork. You've got all sorts, and you have to push past all of this in order to get down to looking at some cars. And it's the sheer variety of them. This is only a small snippet. There are another 6 tents around here, equally big as this. Just everything and anything. You've got muscle cars, SUVs, resto mods. There's a mystery machine and a Batmobile. And we, I didn't really appreciate this, have not come on a busy day, as you can tell. It's near the end of the evening now. But on Saturday, which is the big day for Barrett-Jackson, this place apparently is heaving. You cannot move. Right now, sort of got the place to ourselves. All the cars are housed undercover across the whole week of the auction. And when it's time for them to go up onto the stage, they're taken from here out into the pre-staging and the staging lanes. They then get sold. They then come back and get parked here again until the end of the auction, when they can then be collected and taken to their new home.
This place is chock full of incredibly rare cars. Everywhere you look, there's something weird and exciting. I wanted to find out a bit more about the history of the company and learn about some of the more abstract American muscle cars up for auction. So who better to talk to than the CEO of Barrett-Jackson himself, Craig Jackson.
So, Craig, I can't get over the scale of this place. How did it grow so much? Where did it start?
Well, it started in the 60s as just a regular concours. My dad and Tom Barrett, both families, wanted to do a fundraiser for Scottsdale for the arts, and then it evolved into an auction. Number one version of Barrett-Jackson was selling all pre-war classics, brass cars, a lot of French cars. I grew up restoring cars. So I took it over and asked my customers, what do you want? And they said, we don't want to just come to an auction, we want other stuff to do. So I started adding sponsors, automotive companies, ride and drives, the vendor marketplace. We always had a party, but I took the party to another level. And it's a balancing act. You want to get that excitement, but in the arena there, we have, by the time we're done, we'll have 6,000 registered bidders. Right now, we're at about 5,800 bidders. We'll end up with $2 billion of lines of credit. So we try to have a 10-to-1 ratio. So if we have $2 billion, we like to have $200 million worth of cars to sell.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the math. But to put 6,000 registered bidders with 1,912 cars, all selling with no reserve, that means last person with their hand in the air owns it.
Yeah.
We do the negotiating up front, what we think the car is worth, and we're very good at valuing cars. It's real cars selling for real money with real bids.
And do you notice cars coming in and out of fashion? Do you know, is there some things that are doing particularly well at the moment, other things that are doing particularly badly for you?
Well, we try to stay ahead of generational changes. So when I took over, we have a 540K special roadster up there. We still sell a handful of classics. Mm-hmm. When I took over, we were almost all selling classics. Now we are also catering to millennials. What are millennials like? They grew up in SUVs and trucks. So we have some of the world's best resto mods, and it doesn't matter whether it's a Range Rover or a Bronco. It's what you remember as your childhood that you were in or you want. On this side over here, you have the best of the best, which is F40 in race trim, but street legal. One of the hottest segments of our market are these Ford GTs.
Yes.
Which were built to go win Le Mans on the 50th anniversary of Ford beating Ferrari.
So I'm used to seeing exotic sports cars.
Yes.
I'm less used to seeing, to understanding the value in some of the amazing muscle cars we've got behind us. Can you just talk to me about some of those for a sec?
Sure. So over here on this side, these, we call it plum crazy, but on Plymouth it's actually called Inviolate. Purple with a white interior in it with a pistol grips 4-speed, Dana 60 transmission, quintessential muscle car, no frills, it's got dog dish hubcaps on it. This is made to go rule the streets back in 1970. This is the quintessential absolute muscle car. They made 69 of these. They made 50 so they could go drag racing. So police departments and utility people can order cars called COPO, Central Office Production Order, and you can have cars custom made for utilities. So they use that back door, would it be, to initially order 50 of these so they could go drag race them. So it's an all aluminum 427. The first 50 have no options. The last 19 cars have a lot of options because the first 50 ordered just to go drag racing. This car is 61 out of 69.
These are then more valuable because they've got the extra options, or is it the drag cars that are?
No, it's the ones with options and the ones that still have an original motor. This original motor was hunted down and put in the car. There's less than 10 with the original motors, so they're very rare. We sold one of these last year the year before for over $1 million. And
so you're expecting this to go for similar money?
I would think somewhere in that neighborhood.
Craig, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's been wonderful.
All right, 20,000.
So
I've been giving this some thought, and to me Barrett-Jackson isn't just an auction, it's like American car culture in a microcosm, because you get all the facets of it. And it's not just what Craig was saying about adding on different events and things, it's that it feels like a celebration of cars.